Okay, in this video, I'm going to walk you through a pretty complex system of how we built a welcome sequence for a client that has many locations. And the ultimate goal is to get more of those leads that are coming in to do more stuff with their marketing and their branding and lead them towards booking more appointments at the clinic. And the goal here was not to replace all of the great sales and service they were doing, but instead complement that and warm up these potential prospects and customers with some really, really cool enriched marketing stuff. So I want you to jump in, buckle up. We're going to go a deep dive. We're going to get into strategy, and we're also going to get into technical. I'm going to show you very specific ways that we built this so you can do it for yourself. Now, we're building lots of systems and strategies and small business. And so remember to like and subscribe and click that notification so that we can help you grow your business. Let's get going. All right, before we start, I just want to say we use ActiveCampaign in a lot of our projects and client projects. And if you sign up through our affiliate link below, you can reach out to me and I'll give you 30 minutes free consulting to help you set up your system yourself and give you some ideas on strategies that you can deploy. So let's get into the video. So before we dive into the nuts and bolts and all the technical stuff, I'll tell you the story about where this came from. Initially, NextGen came to me and asked what email system I recommend, and I explained to them ActiveCampaign is something that's really, really cool, and I showed them how to set it up, and all I asked for was them to sign up through my affiliate link, and I did about half an hour, walked them through it. But as we started to go into it, we realized that there was a lot of things and missed opportunities in their system as leads were coming in. People were kind of falling through the cracks. There was leaks in the revenue, and their call center, their sales teams, everybody was having their hands in a little bit of different places. So we said, what if we built a full program so that we could have all your leads come to one place, we could see what they're doing with your information, and we could maybe build a better sales plan for those leads. So that's what we did in this phase one in the last 90 days, is really set the system, set this foundation. The next phase is going to be all about how do we now work with that call center? How do we work with the local clinics? How do we make sure that people that are coming in aren't disappearing, that they're getting the full treatment, they're getting a great user experience, and we can see what they're doing, which also helps us, gives us some intel on what's working and what's not. So we're building a little bit more relationships with these clients as they're going through our system. And I'm going to show you how we set this up and sort of what this looks like for the future. And in this video, we're going to do an actual deep dive. I'm going to show you very technical stuff on how we integrated Gravity Forms, their WordPress, ActiveCampaign, everything. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to show you is this map that we have on how everything's integrated, because once we built it all, we wanted to make sure that we could explain it to the rest of the team, because they have many people involved in the business with all their different locations. So what we're looking at is, where can we generate traffic? How do we bring people in, whether it's through Facebook ads, whether it's online, whether it's direct links, whether they have an outbound sales team that they go doing community relationships, and they want to say, okay, how do I bring people to this machine? We also have at the top of the funnel the website, so their homepage, the blogs that they've got, product pages. They're starting to do more e-commerce. So we want to capture all of these people in the right place. So if you look at this homepage right now, there's a number of things people do. So they have an online hearing test, as I showed you. There's a contact form. There's another 3-step free hearing test that they have. And they also have, we're going to be looking at, the reason this is blue is we're also going to be looking at a lead magnet that we've been building. Okay, so if we think about that, the homepage now, when people are going onto their homepage and they want to schedule this hearing test, or they go to the online hearing test, what was happening is they were just getting a thank you message, and then the call center was dealing with them. They were missing an opportunity on the thank you page to collect some more information. Let me see if I've got that in the right spot. Right here. So now what we've got is this thank you page that is right after they book an appointment that says, hey, would you like some more information? Would you like some more resources? And this is a way that we can say, okay, now, somebody's going to get a hold of you, but in the meantime, download this guide that we've created. And this guide is one of the things that are setting off a bunch of these automations. So that's what we've got there. So now we say, okay, that thank you page and the opt-in for that form now says, okay, do they opt in and get this? And that's where the ActiveCampaign stuff comes in. And then there's a page that goes, thank you, subscribe, you're subscribed, one more step, check your inbox. That's how that works. So all of these here on the home page now are capturing people's information, but sending them to this opportunity to do a little bit more with them. And that's all this is testing. Can we do a little bit more and help these guys on a bit more of a user journey? So just one more step we added. So all of this piece right here is just us adding one more step to the process, so that when somebody lands on, they book an appointment, they land on this page and they go through and say, ah, that's kind of cool. Let me see what's happening. And then this is what's going to set some things in motion. The other thing on the contact us page, so from their website, if they go to the contact page, it does the same thing. So we're trying, and then there's an appointment landing page. So we've got, let me see if I can find that now. Let's go to, so this one here, they're testing different landing pages. So this one here, once somebody goes and books an appointment or submits a contact form on some of the landing pages, what's going to happen then is, again, it's going to send them to this thank you page. So this thank you page, we just created it once. That is this one. And this does a lot of the heavy lifting on some of the automation. And so now we say, anytime somebody's booking an appointment or sending some information, we say, hey, would you also like to download this cool guide that we have? And then do they opt in? If they opt in, we thank them to thank you on, there's that subscribe page. Okay, well, the other thing we've got is there's a contact form on that landing page, or there's just basically download the guide on that landing page. So all of these, there's a, where's the lead magnet squeeze page? This one here is the squeeze page. So you can see these do similar things. The only thing on this one is we ask for their email. On this one, we've got, we can send people directly to the squeeze page to say, get this hearing guide. The cool thing that we've set up on this one is we've made it so that once they fill out their information, this automatically puts their email in there and they download the guide. So there's a cool thing that we're doing there. So all of this stuff here, the booking page, there's thank you for booking, all this stuff, the whole website now, basically it doesn't change anything they were already doing. We just added this basic step in here and a bit more of a lead magnet that's helping them move people forward. And that lead magnet looks like this. So they did a great job designing something. So we spent some time saying, well, what are the challenges that, that you have? And they had done some work previously on segmenting their customers. Let me show you what that looks like. These documents they had were all about segmenting their customers. So they had new users, experienced users, power users for hearing aids. And when they looked at it, there was a lot of stuff on, what are their challenges? What are their concerns? How do I use hearing aids? All that kind of stuff. And so the cool thing is that they built all of that into now this great hearing health guide. We said, why don't we take the #1 questions that their audience has and build them into a bit of a guide to answer some of those questions before they book appointments. And so this does some of the heavy lifting for us as well in our system. So some of the stuff they're looking at is, how do I know if I have hearing loss? What is noise-induced hearing loss? When should I have it tested? What to expect? What is the expectation of coming in and seeing somebody? The #1 goal for this whole project was not for marketing to replace what they were doing at the clinic level, but to complement it. And if you're looking at doing some of this stuff, I know it's easy to get excited and get caught up in this like shiny object syndrome. But when you have especially something like this, where you are doing a great job interacting with your customers, you don't want to take anything away from that. What we're trying to do is capture more of the people that we weren't capturing by building a digital relationship with them to move them forward to our personal relationship. And that's one of the key pieces to this, is that in this guide, it's not trying to explain all the features and benefits of everything so that the clinicians aren't going to do that. What we're trying to say is, hey, here's something that you might want to think about. Here's something you might want to think about. Here's an idea that maybe you're wrestling with. Here's a quick answer to that. And then all of it is saying, now that you have a better understanding of that small piece, let's get you in to come see somebody. So the whole thing, that's why we designed this. If you see here at nextgenhearing.com/book, this is a unique URL that we are tracking over here. So that is the booking page here. That's in all of the stuff that we're sending people to this booking page. Right? Oh, sorry, right here. So all of these guides, the guide, everything is going back to this booking page. So this document is a really, really powerful tool. And I want you to think about that. Don't just give people a resource that tries to answer all of their questions. Give them something that gives them a taste of the answer so that they want more. And now they're much more willing to have a conversation with you. And so this whole purpose of this guide, we designed it in a way to book appointments. And that's what this is for. So, you know, we're talking about some testimonials. We're talking about pros and cons, what type of hearing aids, what to do next, what to expect in an appointment, because now they can use this. If they have people that are booking appointments, they can say, they can send them this page here, and we can customize this page. That's why we've got that in here somewhere, is we can customize this so that the customer experience team can also send people to this squeeze page. So that's down at the bottom here. So I know we're jumping back and forth, but if you have somebody that is going out and booking appointments for you, give them a resource like this that says, hey, I know you're excited about doing work with us. In the meantime, check this thing out. Not to replace what we're going to do, but in the meantime, in complement of. I think that's what I mean. So that's the big piece of this, is that this isn't intended to replace the sales process or the customer service process. Okay, let's go back into it. So that makes sense. That's what we've got here. Now, here's where it gets into the email side, on the engagement side. So once they've been on all of these lists, we are going to add them to our next gen hearing list in ActiveCampaign. So now some of these guys are going to get custom emails, but all of these ones that are coming through here and opting, so once they've gone through this first step, they get added to the master list. What we wanted to do was also then double opt them in to our marketing and promotions list. I know this is a little bit confusing, and what we looked at in ActiveCampaign, rather than having a bunch of lists, we only wanted two. One was a master list and one was the marketing list, okay? And we can separate everybody else through tags. But basically what's gonna happen here is we send them through a confirmation sequence to say, hey, you know, make sure you click here so that you opt in and get all the stuff and you wanna receive things from us. If they confirm, they get added to this list. If they click on any of these custom emails, we can also add them to the list. And then they're gonna go through this welcome sequence. And this welcome sequence is also going to send them back to online hearing tests. It's also gonna send them back to booking pages. It's also going to send them to products, and some of these emails are sending them back to other things. So basically what we're doing is we're deepening this relationship, and we're showing people there's lots to it. And maybe if you're thinking about this in your own business, is how many times do people not know all of the things that you could be doing, where your systems can actually do this for you, so that people go, oh, I didn't know that was possible. Now I'm ready for this. And we can start to build nurturing. So this is the first phase. The next phase from here is long-term nurturing. So we can do things so this goes over, I think, 2 weeks, but then we could do stuff at 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, 180, 365. And they also are at the same time running campaigns that are going to their list, okay? Then at the bottom of this, we've got the call center notified once people have booked appointments. And the call center, this is phase 2, where we're working on, have those people showed? If they've showed, have they bought anything? What's this follow-up process? So this is all phase 2 to make sure that all the stuff that's happening up here, these guys are making the most of it. And so there's lots of other stuff that we can do, but this is our main process. The other stuff we're gonna be looking at: retargeting, product emails, follow-ups for appointments, the call center, the playbook, segmented messaging, other lead magnets, the marketing. So basically all of this stuff, the reporting, traffic, now they're going to be able to test, and figure out exactly what their leads want. So that's the first thing I'm going to show you. So that's how this map works. People come in, they land somewhere, whatever they do, it takes them to another place where we say, okay, if you like this stuff, you want to join us, now we're going to go into the engagement side, which is the email marketing system, which I'm going to show you now. Okay. So in here, we've got a bunch of automations that are running. And like I said, when we built this in lists, we only have 2 lists. We had somebody else was trying to show them to build multiple lists, but I'm a big fan of minimal lists and then using tags to separate your leads out. So you can use tags to do a lot of the back end and use them for triggers and use them to move people forward. So the 2 automations I want to show you is the lead magnet delivery. So how they're getting their double opt-in. We want to make sure we're following all the spam laws, the double opt-in here, and then the welcome series. And what we wanted to do, some really cool stuff, rather than the standard email that you might get, which is click here to confirm your email, and then it would take them to another email to send them the stuff they want. I wanted the first email to do all of that in one. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and I want you to now pay attention, get your pens out. What we're looking at here is when they get this tag, the automation start HHG. And HHG is basically this hearing health guide. So once they do that, we're going to have other triggers from other places, but this is going to start this confirmation and double opt-in welcome sequence. Let's see if I have it here. Let's go to this one. So basically on this squeeze page, so this, if we go here, this is this one here. So on this guide here, that is linked to this Gravity form. When it gets added to ActiveCampaign in Gravity forms, we're going to, there's 2 things I do on each form. Well, 2 things on this form. Automation, start HHG, which then when it gets added to ActiveCampaign, it's going to be added to the main list and then added to this tag, not the promo list, because we want people on the promo list, people that have opted in. So this is going to start the HHG automation and add them to the main list. Once they have that tag, now they can go through here. Once they have that, they're going to add the tag hearing health guide requested. We didn't want to add that at the top because this allows us to do it in multiple ways. So let's go back to this form. So this one here also, each Gravity form, this is one of the things we were running into challenges, is we didn't know where people were coming from and which forms they were using. You can create different forms in ActiveCampaign, but I found this was much easier than creating a bunch of forms and then putting them on the site. So we use Gravity forms on the site to create what we want. It looks better, it feels better, tastes better, smells better, I don't know. And then we just ID what's going on here so we can track back between Gravity forms and ActiveCampaign. Stick with me. So now it says here, form HHG squeeze ID. So if somebody goes and fills this out, it tags them with these 2 things, and this lets us know in their contact history which form that they came through. And let's go back here. Now, here's what we've done in this. So I'll show you the email in a second of how it works. But what we're doing is we're sending an email. Here's your guide. Now, if you see there the pop-up, the guide, it says, click here to confirm your email and get the guide. And we did that so that we didn't have to send a confirmation email and a lead magnet delivery. So this does both at once. And I'm going to show you how. This is one of the reasons I really like ActiveCampaign. So once they've done that, so this goes basically all of this from here to here happens all at once. So we did this so that we can let people run. If they want to go through and download the guide multiple times, we wanted them to be able to do that. So we're using this tag to start and stop. So basically it's think about it like a gate. It opens the gate, closes the gate. So now if they fill it out multiple times, it opens and closes this gate. If you want, you could set a little wait here for 5 minutes so they don't get jammed in the system. So far, this has been working well. But all of this happens all at once. Then it tells me here, at this point, are they in our marketing list? If they are not, then they go here and we're going to wait. You know, do they match these conditions? Or wait for 1 day. If they're in the list by then we move them to this side. And basically we have a goal of the guide is HHG downloaded. So in ActiveCampaign, we're also setting goals so that we can track how many people, what percentage of people are actually achieving this goal in here. And then once we've got this is the step that I added. We remove the tag, the goal LM. So now basically this is the goal, is that tag has happened, and then we remove that tag. So we have people hitting this goal, removing the tag, because a goal in ActiveCampaign, I know this is getting complicated, but in ActiveCampaign, when you have a goal, it pushes people through to the goal if they meet the criteria. So because I wanted to be able to have it operate as a double opt-in, and be able to run it multiple times and track the goal, this is how we have to set it up. So you add the tag when they download the guide of this, which then pushes them through to the goal. And then at the same time, we remove that tag. So it still tracks them as hitting that goal. Then what happens is anytime they achieve that goal through this process, they get bumped to this. So anytime somebody achieves this goal in this whole sequence, if I look at this, we've made it so that anytime, anywhere in this automation, somebody gets this tag goal L lead magnet HHG downloaded, then they get shot to here. So this allows them to buy. So if they're waiting a day, we're going to say, you know, are they in the list? Yes, great. Then they don't have to go further. If they're not, you know, have they downloaded the guide? No. So then we have a follow-up email that says, hey, yesterday we tried to send you, or you haven't had a chance to open this up yet. Here's a reminder to download that guide. And then what we do is we're putting them in wait for 30 days. So we just launched this. And so you can see there's a bunch of people that went through this. They clicked on it, but haven't downloaded the guide yet. So this is important. We added another wait criteria so we don't lose these 44 people, right? So this is a normal thing that happens. Is think about for yourself. You go and fill out a form and say, hey, I want that thing. And then you forget to go download it. So this one, we're going to wait 30 days. We're going to send another thing. Hey, about a month ago, you requested this thing. Do you still want it? Here you go. And that's what this email is going to be here. And then we've got right now a wait for 9. I usually at the end of my automations give it a 999 days because I'm not sure what I want to do with these guys yet. So we've got a reminder. So this confirmation sequence allows us to send them an email. Here's your guide. It opts them in, waits for a day, sends them a reminder, waits for 30 days, sends them another reminder. So it's a 3-step confirmation, which is now allowing us to capture as many people as possible. When we started to look at what appointments were worth, how much does it cost for lost leads, and how much are we spending on advertising, this is just one of the pieces that helps us solve these revenue leaks. So now I'm going to show you what this email looks like so you can see how this works technically. So again, all of these tags are opening and closing these gates. Okay, so this is the email and what it looks like. So we've designed this in a very simple way. If they click on any of this, here, when they click on this button, here's what happens. The button goes to the guide that we showed you. And what we do with the button is we click here and we can add some functions. So when they click on this upload, this guide, it also will add tags. The guide has been downloaded and the goal, so this tag goal, remember we showed you how that tag works, is this tag is added and then they get subscribed to the promotions and updates list. So that's how this works. And the button is the same on both. So this is a very simple email. And that one is actually, then we just duplicate this and add different copy to the other ones that we have. And so this allows us to use it as an opt-in button and a download button, which is very important so we don't send multiple emails. So again, these little pieces are what's going to add up long-term to little improvements in conversions. So that's how this this confirmation sequence works. I know this seems complex, but once you build it, it's awesome. Now, one of the things that I like to do is if you are looking for some help in how to set this stuff for yourself, is make sure that you click on the links that we have in here for signing up for ActiveCampaign as an affiliate. If you send me a message and you are an affiliate signed up through me, I will help you, give you 30 minutes for free of consulting and just make sure that I can help you set things up the right way. And if it makes sense for us to work long-term, just like we did with NextGen, we will. let's go on to the next piece. I guess that's an ad. Is that my own mid-roll ad? Okay, here we go. So now we've got the second automation. So this is the welcome sequence. And in this NG welcome series, one of the things that I'm going to show you right away is we've got 5 emails. So far, here's how our 5 emails are performing. We're getting a 79% open on the first one, 65, 55, so you can see it's going down. And then we can actually dive deeper into these emails and see what people are clicking on and what they're doing with this stuff. So we've got a main welcome. So that's all of these here. The intro, a bit about our story, the hidden myths of hearing aids, self-assessment for hearing, our hidden myths about hearing, self-assessment hearing aids. So if we look at that, that's how all of these go. So some of these, it's, you know, we're getting a lower conversion on here, but that seems pretty normal. I think anytime you can average around 50, you're good. So having this, you know, welcome is a really good one. So we might want to play with the content. The purpose of all this stuff is, and we just launched this a couple weeks ago. So we've already got about 70 people that are going through this, and they haven't really been driving any traffic to it. One of the things we're gonna be looking at is putting all of this stuff throughout the website, and then also promoting to their existing lists to get them to come and join this. So here's what happens. So when somebody subscribes to the promotions and updates, and the only way they're doing that right now is 2 ways. One is through the automation I just showed you by clicking on that downloadable guide, or 2, in campaigns that they're using here. Let me see here. In the campaigns that they're sending out to people to say, hey, would you like to get some of our other stuff? So the monthly newsletters, those kinds of things. And once they do that, then basically they're getting added to the list because they're already inside of our system. And when they click on it, it says, click here to subscribe and get added to the other stuff. So this is why I like ActiveCampaign, because when they're clicking on buttons, you can subscribe them to lists. And because they're clicking on it in their email, it complies with your spam law. So very, very cool stuff. And so we also don't want them to run through the automation sequence more than once. So we added this. It does not have a tag, automation in welcome sequence. Okay. So now we're going to, when they get added to this list, we're going to add them to the welcome sequence. Wait for an hour. The reason I did this is because we want them to get that lead magnet that we're sending to them. So they're going to get that, hey, here's the guide that you asked for. Enjoy, click it, read through it. Oh, this is so lovely. And then an hour later, we're going to send them this welcome email that basically is all, I'm going to show you what they look like, but it's all about, hey, this is what we're about. Here's what you can do. Here's some cool things you can have. 3 days later, we're sending them a second one. 3 days later, we're sending them another one. 3 days later. So we're doing this just over 3 days. And then I've got people setting right now, again, in this wait sequence, because we might add a day 30. We're going to see how this performs. And then once they, you know, we remove that tag, and then we're going to add completed the welcome sequence. So nobody's got this tag yet, and nobody's had this removed. So basically all of these people that are in this, you can see everybody at each stage who's doing what. So this is a very, very cool way to kind of get a visual ID of what you're doing. One of the things we've done with other clients is we've split test some of these emails. So we have an A and a B version to see which ones perform better. And then we run people through the one that converts more. But this is just a functional first step on this. The other thing we can look at is segmenting our users. And that's what this sequence is all about. So let's go into, I think maybe what's a good one to look at? Yeah, right here. Let's look at the self-assessment one. Let me go here. So I know we're going through a lot, but this is showing you really detailed how you can set this stuff up for yourself. So here's one of the emails. Here's our self-assessment. Now, the other thing is, you know, in our free health guide, there's a self-assessment. Click here to get access to it. So even though this is part of a follow-up to this guide that they've had, it's a good reminder to tell them, hey, there's more stuff. So all of this, again, is reinforcing all of the resources that you've been sending them. And then we give them some stats. You know, step 1, know the signs of your hearing loss. Step 2, here's a quick self-assessment. Step 3, take action. And remember I said the goal of this is to bring them back to us so they can either go back and take this online hearing test or book a call to discuss their options. So that, again, in this, the self-assessment is sending them back to the test and then also back to the book a call with us. So all of these are trying to move people forward to booking calls, using testimonials all that kind of stuff is a part of this process. So you can see these two automations, this welcome, the confirmation and the welcome sequence, are very important to be able to have people move through your system. And then we can see what people are doing with all of these emails. We can look in the reports and see what links are being clicked and how those are converting. But what is really exciting, I'm going to show you a couple examples of what people are actually doing with the information, and so that we have a little bit more information that we can use for our call center. So in here, of course, I blurred out the names so you can't see who these people are, but you could see right away the way I've sorted these people, just this list right here, is by tags. So you can go through and find how many people have had how many different tags and what they've done. So when you look at an individual, you can actually look at their contact history and see what they've been doing. Now, using tags and lists and automations, you can get a pretty good sense of what this person's done. Now, I love seeing lots of tags. It means they've done lots of things. So right now you can see it. The first thing they did is they, at the very bottom, they subscribed to a list. So that's the online hearing test. They entered this automation, the hearing health guide. They were sent the health guide download. They opened it and they clicked on it. Because they clicked on it, it subscribed them to that list. They entered the welcome series email and automation. Then they completed the automation of the hearing health guide because they reached that automation goal. So that's in there. They got sent the welcome email 1. They opened welcome email number 1, and then guess what they did? They clicked on this, the online hearing test. Then they were sent welcome email number 2. They didn't open that one yet, but they got welcome email number 3, hit and miss. They opened that. Welcome email 4, they opened that. Email 5, they didn't open that. They got the client newsletter, all this kind of stuff. So imagine now you are on the call center and you can go in and see how many people have gone in here that are at these stages. We can actually add lead scoring. We can do a lot of stuff that then triggers your call center to say, hey, this person would be a perfect candidate to come and do something. They've been opening emails, that would up their score. Take been clicking on things, that ups their score. They taken an online hearing test. We can talk to them about that. We say, hey, I see you've done a lot of things. Let's take our relationship to the next level and get you in to see somebody at our clinic. So this is really where the marketing and sales alignment piece is very powerful, so we can see what people are doing and help them move forward. Here's another one that we can look at. Again, same thing as this one. They subscribed to the list, they got sent the guide, they opened it, they clicked on it, they're moving through, and then they got sent, let's see, where are they at here? So here's exactly why we're building that for somebody like this. They came in and they subscribed to the list through one of the things when they first set it up. They went through the automation. Here's your guide. They opened that guide. They clicked on the link. They get into the welcome sequence. They're downloading the guides. They get the welcome one. They open welcome 1. They take an online hearing test. They go to the welcome to the open the second email, all about us. And then what they did, you know what? After the open email 1, downloaded the guide, opened email 2, at that point, they then clicked on the contact us. And they basically went through the thing, and now it says I need a hearing test booked in Squamish. And now they've gone through and they're going through all this stuff. So they booked an appointment because of the stuff we've done. So all of this worked in the background to book that person in for an appointment, when if they would have just been sent to the regular page, they might not have. And so that's the purpose of all of this stuff, is to get somebody like this to come through, play around with some stuff on the site, and then eventually book an appointment. So this is why these systems are so important. The key to all this is that we're connecting and integrating all the pieces in the right way. The next step I want to show you is actually how we integrated gravity forms so that we could pass information along and what those gravity forms look like. So let me pull up these here. So I've shown you this one. So just for the standard squeeze page, we're doing that. So we've got, you know, a standard form. That's this one. Where is it here? We've got the standard form, this, that populates into ActiveCampaign. And we just go, okay, join this and then start the automation. But now we've got a couple other ones. So on the home, I'm going to show you how we then pass data from one form to the other. And this is important as we start to grow this further. There's a term I love called progressive profiling, which allows you just to collect one piece of information, I guess one piece of information. And then as they go through other pages, those pages allow you to continue to add to their profile. And that's really what this one is, or get them to do other things so they don't have to fill stuff out more than once. So imagine now, you have somebody that fills out their form and you just say, hey, give me your email address. So what we want to do actually on this page is, rather than just this, have another form saying, great, that stuff's on its way. In the meantime, tell us a bit about yourself. You know, what level are you at with your hearing aids? Have you seen anybody before? Ask them a bunch of questions, but now we've already collected their data. We can profile them deeper. We're going to add that same survey and forms into some of the emails so we can continue to enrich. It's called customer enrichment data. So we know much more about the people rather than, like I showed you in the other one, just their name, email, and phone number. So now on this form, here's what we're going to do. And this is how you can set it up technically in Gravity Forms. Is on the home page contact form, what we've got is a confirmation type, is we're redirecting them to this thank you page. So that is this one, okay? And on that, we're going to say, let's pass the field data via this query string. And you can actually just click here and get the data that you need. And so it goes first name equals this, last name equals this, and email equals this. Okay, so this is telling us that on the form where we're getting that data. I know this sounds complicated, but this is how you will do it. So you click on here and you go like that. You add that. So basically that's the data that you're looking for. And then we're going to say, okay, what do we want to call it? So phone 6 would be phone 6. So if I want to then add, say, phone equals, and then we got to make sure that we have and in there, that would allow me to pass phone to the other one. The only thing that matters here is that what you use in terms of this matches on the next one. So let's go here. On this form we have here, which is the appointment thank you page. So onto this form. So the form, let me go back. This form here is the home page form. So when somebody's here and they fill out this form to request an appointment, this form has a confirmation setting, which sends them this other page, the thank you page, and we're going to pass this data from that form to this page onto this form. So on this form, we're going to go into the field that we want to receive the data. We're going to click on advanced. So in email, we're going to click on email, go to advanced, and email, this has to match what this is. It has to be spelled, and I think uppercase and lowercase matter. So it's saying that email 5, so the merge field from this form is going to say, you know, this number is going to be from here. So on this form, that's how they're going to receive it. On first name and last name, same thing. Advanced, allow fields to be populated dynamically. First underscore name, last underscore name, and those two match here. So if I was to add a phone field, let's just, let's do that. If I added the phone field, and let me go here, sorry, right here. I go into here, and in advanced, I would allow this to be populated dynamically, and I would just type in phone. And again, not like that. I would type in phone, and that would match what we put in here. So I'm not going to save these because we don't want those. And I'm just going to cancel those out. But that's how you would pass the dynamic field. So now, when you fill out this form and you land on this page, first name and last name are actually hidden. So we pass that data in, and we've hidden them, right? All of this stuff is hidden. So that when you land on this, we don't need you to do anything. And actually your email is going to show up right in there. The other thing you could do is you could actually make all of the forms, all of the fields hidden. So you just have a button that automatically submits it. So you could see some of the cool things that you could do with Gravity Forms. So Gravity Forms, ActiveCampaign, all of these things play nice together so that when somebody goes onto your website, They basically go and do stuff, and the system on the back end makes it easy for them to take another step. And so if you can think about this, we go here, we say, hey, get this thing on the next. So I might even say, hey, let's take first and last name out. We just need email. On the next page, great, that thing is on its way. In the meantime, fill this out. What's your name? Where do you live? What are you interested in? Why are you interested in this? Would you be interested in doing these things? And you start to segment them through those questions, and all of that then gets populated into your active campaign. So you can see the power of all this stuff. And the key to this is making sure that you have a plan in terms of where people are going to go, how they're coming into your system, what you want to say to them, what that experience looks like. Find some resources that then you can send to them and see what they do, and make sure that all of this stuff has a goal in mind, which is, I want them to download something, but then I want them to go somewhere. The last thing you want is people to just fall in buckets and disappear. So partly is setting it all up. Then the next phase is, of course, tracking that, finding what the data shows. And for me, that's where I get really, really nerdy. I love looking at reports. I love looking at data. I like looking at what customers do to figure out what makes sense for us to do with them, so that our service teams, our sales teams can be in alignment with what marketing's doing. Now, this creates a really nice feedback loop, so that sales can inform marketing saying, hey, I'm seeing these things happening. Could we build some more things that do this at the front end? And marketing says, hey, we're doing a bunch of these things. How does that help and translate here? Is that working? Is that helping? Is that, hurting what you're doing? So all of these feedback loops are what are important in your business. So we've gone through a lot of stuff. This is a very complex system, but I don't want you to think of this as something that's impossible. Right? Your system should really be all about supporting your users and thinking about it. So don't try and use systems and automations and tools and jam them in there. Get really strategic about why you would put those in there. One of the things we talk about a lot with my client is, just because you can do something, it doesn't mean you should. And I think there's a lot, there's SEO companies, there's lots of other companies that are out there that are trying to help them do certain things, but there's so much complexity to this. That's the question you should ask is this something we need to do? Just because we can do that, if we focus on the user, the one person, and look at what did that person do, if we can get one person to do that, we can get multiple people to do that. And that's what these systems are designed to do. And so primarily, I'm a sales coach, but these systems help us increase the likelihood of connecting with our clients and getting them to take action. So like I said, if you need help with this, reach out to me and I'm happy to walk you through. And again, if you sign up through ActiveCampaign or any of these tools through my affiliate link and you let me know, then I'm happy to jump on a call and give you free consulting on getting some stuff set up for half an hour so that you can walk through this. So hope that helps. This is, again, a complex system, but it's really to simplify everything for yourself and your users, so this can just run in the background and you don't have to go chasing your tail. So remember we've been doing a lot of videos like this. Remember to like the video, comment below what you're using these tools for, subscribe, click the notification. We're doing a lot of stuff on systems, small business, sales, software. So I'll talk to you next time.